Okay, now I'm going to do something fairly routinely, and I'm going to do this to warm people up for this exploration season that's coming up. We have a lot of stories. I've talked about a lot of stories. Snowline, Goliath, SK, like lots of them that are drilling. And I have now have my assistant working very, very hard, putting together little models, little three-dimensional models to show, so I can show people like you guys listening, what the company might have here. Okay, what kind of what kind of target are we looking at? What kind of potential will they, do they have when they go out and drill? All right, we're going to look at Snowline. And now they didn't have any news this week. This is simply data from last year, but I want to show you guys and really give you a sense of what the heck they have, because I've talked about it, and I don't think people get it yet. I really don't. And it's just like, wow, this is crazy. I mean, I watch it very closely, but I want to show you some stuff. Okay, first of all, this image, that's the three-dimensional surface of a very, very broad area in the Yukon, but it shows you the two places that they drilled last year. One of them is called Jupiter. It's right up here. And one of them is called, it's Ridge Valley, which is part of the road property down there. Now, if I tilt this up, you can see that in both areas, there's some little bright colors here. Those are, if I zoom in, those are assay values associated with some drill holes. Okay. You can see some little holes here, and the bright colors are the drill intervals. In both cases, they had some phenomenal numbers, but you can see how far apart they are. Now, at any given time, I want to point out over here, down here in the lower right, you can see a scale bar, and it changes. If I zoom in, you can see how it changes. Okay. Now, if I tilt it up like this, you look straight down on the thing. You can see, and right now you can see the bar, or basically from green line to green line, is 20 kilometers. Okay. That means from down here at Ridge Valley, where they drill a handful of holes, all the way up to Jupiter, that's little over 30 kilometers. Okay. So first of all, to give you a sense of scale, that's huge. Okay. That's like almost 20 miles. All right. They drilled, this is what I mean, this is remarkable, to make two independent discoveries this far apart in one field season, just, with a flying around poking some holes in the ground, is absolutely amazing. It does tell us that there's probably a lot more here. So there's Ridge, there's Jupiter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the close-ups. Okay, we're going to go to Jupiter first. And what we did, I had my assistant take data out of the news release. He put in the map showing the geology of the area. He draped it over the surface so you can kind of get a sense. Okay, this Jupiter area is actually towards the bottom of this valley. And why is it important? Well, there's actually a lot of glacial till and stuff in this valley. So it is not easy to see what the heck is underneath the surface here. If anybody thinks this is easy, they're mistaken. Okay, this was truly a wildcat crapshoot. Okay, and they poked these holes in. You can see some holes down here. There's one up here, and then a cluster. Excuse me, gonna get a drink over here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the let's see, Jupiter Lith. Where is? Sorry, I'll just tilt it up. This is best. Okay, I'm going to tilt this up so you can see in third dimension the drill holes. Now, firstly, this is an orogenic gold system. All right, that means it's structurally controlled. It's probably deeply rooted. It is epizonal, so we're at the very top of the orogenic system, and we're seeing some phenomenally high grades. You can see here's 45 grams, there's a 22 grammer, 43 grammer, like lots of high grade. Now, the other thing I point out is, look, even though some of these holes hit lower grade values, some, just anomalous, we'll call it, every single hole hit some gold, I think, with the exception of maybe one or two. Okay, everything had some sniffs in it. Now, up here, there was some runs, like there's a 4.1, 3.96. There's some interesting stuff over pretty decent interval. I definitely follow up on something like that. Definitely follow up on something like this. But it's over here. Okay, look at this. This is that area in the south. I hope I don't drive people nuts. My dumb dog is barking here. He's probably barking at the mailman. Anyway, you can see here some holes that were drilled, again, underneath glacial till. Okay, so we're dealing with just, let's poke some holes in the ground and see if we can find something. And they hit. Look at the numbers here. Look at these numbers. These are fantastic. These are starting to look very similar to what we see at Newfound. Okay, and it is an epizonal system. This is an epizonal system. So you can see already the company has several holes in here that have hit very nice fat intervals of high grade. That's remarkable. Okay, there's lots and lots to follow up there. If you look in space, this thing is wide open in that direction. It is wide open in this direction. There's absolutely nothing cutting it off, and it warrants intensive follow-up because this could be a major high-grade epizonal discovery. Now, way up here in the north, okay, I'm going to zoom out again. So we're going to look at this area up here. If I tilt this up, you can see that one of the two holes drilled here hit very high grade. You can see a 22 grammer right there, right at the end of that doggone hole. That's remarkable. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's step back and look at this thing. Okay, if I turn it around on its side from there to there, look at your scale bar down here, let's turn it almost at right angles here, is probably a little over a kilometer, like 1.2 kilometers from there to there. That's huge. My hunch, this will be fed by the same system that created this. Okay, so do they have a lot more work to do here? Yes, very much so. They're just now into a new high-grade discovery, and go for it, all cylinders. But you think that's crazy. Okay, this is a map they published when they announced the soils at Gracie. Okay, these are the soil results. The little yellow dots represent, the size represents the gold grade that was determined in soils. Over 5.1 kilometers. Unbelievable. Now, they didn't even know about this area, okay? They focused initially at this Ridge Valley area, which is down here. In fact, they focused initially at Valley, right here. And then they expanded it to show there's this ridge thing. And then they found this Gracie thing. Right? Now notice here, there's a low, a gravity low. This is gravity data. This is magnetic data, I believe. This is a low right here, and there's a low here. You probably have a granite intrusion that's driving the gold system here, and you probably have a granite intrusion here that's driving this gold system up here. Now, what I want to impress upon people is this. The scale of this thing is nuts, okay? We're going to zoom in right there. Why? Because the company drilled 4 holes, all of 4 holes in a tight cluster here. Okay, I'm going to tilt this up. Now, you can see the 4 holes there. You say, well, that doesn't look like much. Hold on a minute. Those holes are 100+ meter intercepts of great grades of Fort Knox style gold in the first pass. Okay, that's incredible. Now notice the holes were drilled down in here in the valley. As Scott has told me, this is also glacial till down here. So once again, this is a case of, wow, let's rock up, see if there's anything down there, and wham, they hit. That is likely going to be economic mineralization of high significance. It's actually very high grade for a Fort Knox type deposit. But let's put it in context of the bigger target area here. Look, they got soils clear over here. Okay, if I tilt that up, is there any drilling under here? No. This is the only drilling there is, guys. That's crazy. Okay, this thing is huge. This target alone, this ridge, there's Ridge Valley. This area is enormous. Here's your scale bar from the area they drilled holes all the way up to this side of the hill. That's at least a kilometer right there. That is the size of the Fort Knox deposit, the footprint of the Fort Knox deposit. So yes, we have something of major significance. Has it been drilled off at depth? No way. This thing's wide open. This thing could go way down in the ground here. This is basically a granite intrusion, somewhere down here that's fed this thing. How far down, we don't know. But you could have a huge volume of rock here that's mineralized. But then let's zoom out and put it in context. Wow, Gracie's over here. And it's like 5 times as big as this. Is there any drilling there? No. But look at the soils. The soil numbers, in many cases, especially in this area right here, are higher than the general background of soils here. This already is a hands down. That's a discovery. That's an incredible discovery. This one doesn't even have a drill hole poked in it yet. It's got better soils. You think it might result in another, discovery, perhaps even bigger than this one? Yeah, I think so. Okay, that gives you a sense of scale. Okay, so to say I'm excited about this, mild understatement. Okay, this one just makes me tingly all over. All right, so now I'm going to stop.